Happy Saturday, my people, and welcome to another edition of Etsy News, your place for all things Etsy News related for the week. And this week we've got Etsy sellers being sued, Etsy sellers being scammed, and more. So you're going to want to stay tuned. Cheesy much. Anyway, let's dive right into it. Firstly, this Etsy sellers being sued. Sounds like a big scary deal. Hundreds of Etsy sellers and eBay sellers have been sent a message of a potential lawsuit. I want to thank everyone who let me know about this. Is happening on, well, hearing about it on Reddit. So yeah, this kind of scary indeed. So from this one thread, this person and lots of other people have said me too without the hashtag, but me too. Their shop was suspended and got an email from Etsy saying your account has temporarily been suspended as we received legal process seeking information, records, or other action regarding your account. Please see the link for more information. And a 30-page legal document that, of course, the poor seller doesn't understand. These things are terrifying. So the seller lives in the Netherlands, so quite a lot of people will say, it's okay, it's only US trademark law, no one's going to hit you. But some of these, now this is smiling faces that all these sellers are being sued for. Smileys, smiling faces. And it's not necessarily the emoji or the acid smiley face or anything like that. They've just drawn their own two dots and a smile kind of thing. It's not in the yellow color, anything. Anyway, so yeah, it's not just hitting US sellers. This is really international. Um, It is a bit weird, and some people have said, now, not a legal person here at all. This is not legal advice, and if you're not sure if you get hit with this, take legal advice. Now, apparently the letters had been sent saying on this day a certain thing's going to happen, but the email was sent a day later than the day. And there are a lot of people, and this person saying their lawyer has said this. It is a he said, she said. So I don't have access to the lawyer, but the lawyer is saying it's a legal way of scamming people to put pressure onto us. There's not much they can do. Um, my understanding now, there's people have won cases against this. Apparently, they're meeting a lawyer who's won a similar case on Amazon. I'm going to tell you what I've heard. This in no way construes legal advice. Definitely get legal advice if you're being hit. But, right, we know anyone can submit a takedown claim saying, take this stuff down, that's my IP, naughty, naughty you. And Etsy legally has to take the thing down, basically. So people can sort of scam and say, I own the IP to this, take this listing down. Etsy takes it down. And you can either leave it down if you know you're a bit naughty or you don't want to fight it, or you can say, no, actually, you are wrong. I'm going to put this back up. And there's not a whole lot Etsy can do. If you had millions and millions of cases like this against you, Etsy would just go, you're too much trouble, I'm closing your shop. But you can dispute it, and after a few days, your listing goes back up again. And the person who owns the copyright or the trademark, if they can either go ahead and take you to court, which is going to be very difficult and very expensive, or they can just go, yeah, I tried. So there is a sort of legal scam that can happen there where people bully other sellers. And I get it. A lot of other sellers would be, when they get hit with that and their items taken down, they freak out and they just leave it down. That is a thing that happens. It's happened to my mum. Thankfully, we're stubborn people and she knew she wasn't doing anything wrong, so she got the items put back up. This is not the same as this. This is a big company has contacted Etsy with a legal thing saying, we are the IP holder for, I don't know if it's smiley. Yeah, it is. It's the term smiley used, well, a smiley face used on all this type of merch. They've copyrighted a lot of it. And what they are doing is they aren't just saying, take this down. They are saying, we are planning to take legal action. Therefore, here is a subpoena. I don't know the technical words, but here is a letter saying, we need to know details of this account. So they've done the right legal due diligence for Etsy to have to say, hang on, someone's actually looking into your shop, so we're going to suspend your shop. Right, it is a subpoena. Yeah, well done me. Look at me being all technical. Now, obviously, the people freak out here, quite rightly. And a lot of the international lawyers don't necessarily know what's going on here. The international lawyers are like, this is UK, this is US, get yourself a US lawyer. So it's a little bit, it's a difficult case to fight. Now, what I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but I have some experience that I'll explain in a little bit that it might be, is basically what happens next is they have filed with the court and everything, and basically their solicitor or somebody will contact these shops and say, okay, you've been a very bad person, but if you pay, and I think it's $4,000 they're talking about, if you pay $4,000, we won't drag this through the courts. You've just admitted your guilt. Your shop's shut down forever, but we're not going to sue you for any more, which is terrifying. And then I've heard people who dig their heels in a bit, this amount of money goes down. I think they get away with paying only $1,000. And basically they lose their shop, but they're not being dragged through the courts. So it's phew, I've got it at a quarter of the price and I'm not being sued. Now, people have said, I am not, how many times do I have to say? I hope you understand, I'm not a legal expert. People online who are saying they know legally about this. I don't have any way of knowing if they actually do know about this, but they're saying if you fight back against this and say, no, can't they bring it, take me to court. And we're talking, some of these sellers have like sold one smiley face t-shirt. So is this big company going to carry on with their lawsuit, pay hundreds and thousands of dollars in legal fees to sue someone who has no money? Possibly not. So what might happen if you dig your heels in is they just give up at this point. I'm not advising anything. I would definitely join, if this is happening to you, join some of the groups, get together a bunch of you so that crowdsource the legal fee, have some backing. So if you're saying, right, I'm going to go to court, you have some help there. I'm going to explain how I sort of know about this, and this is UK law. But I had someone basically try to bully me using the UK law, and it's very scary. I'd never really seen the police before. I'd certainly never been to court or anything. But they opened up two legal cases against me. One was a civil case and one was a criminal case. And obviously the criminal case was coming first and was the most scary. They said, it said I was doing this thing, I was going to go to court. The letter said, first I had the letter saying this court case is going to happen. Then I had a letter from the prosecution or whatever, I can't remember, but basically they were saying, I've looked into this, there's totally enough evidence. However, we can manage not to make it go to court. If you pay this amount of money, everything will stop, but you've pleaded guilty. So it'll be on your permanent record, as it were. So basically, I can see why people would go, phew, that's me. That's me in the safe. I just have to pay it. I have something on my record, but I'm not a criminal, so it's not really going to be a big deal. there was two problems with that. One, for me, because there was also the civil case going on, I had a fair idea that if I paid and got the guilty on my account, as it were, then the civil case, they would be like, yeah, there you go. You've got nothing to fight. You already said you did it. But the second thing was my job at the time required a police background check. So I needed to have a clean record not to lose my job. So I had to fight it. So I just, the legal, I went and found myself a lawyer. Thankfully, they do the first consult for free. And everything. And I, as advised, I responded with a very polite way of, stick it, take me to court, biatch, kind of thing. So I sent that, and a week or two of very nervous waiting, I got a letter back saying, oh, we've decided not to carry this forward. So basically, it was a lie. It was a court bullying to say they were never really going to take it to court in the first place. They were just trying to do that anyway. And the civil case was pretty much immediately dropped as well after that. I think because I turned up with a lawyer when they weren't expecting it. Anyway, so that's my experience of what happened. I was offered, you can pay money to make this all go away, but you're admitting you did a bad thing. And as soon as I said, okay, we're going to court, it went, oh, no, we're not doing that. So I don't know if this is the same, but that is what people are talking about. But if you're involved in this and you want to get together with a load of people, let me know what's going on. Let me update. And if it comes to going to court and stuff, we can all certainly help promote some kind of crowdfunding or whatever. Yeah, that. Right. Next piece of news, shall we? So, more Etsy tests. I have not seen this. I have tried to get this to happen. I'll explain in a second. But Etsy is sending out messages through the messaging system instead of emails for people who've opted into these marketing emails. So you can set up in your shop an abandoned cart email or leave a review, or you liked this item, here's 20% off or something. And these generally send out in Etsy emails to say, oh, you liked something in this shop, here's 10% off. People are now saying that Etsy is sending messages and they appear to come from the seller as well, which is a bit sus. If you set up the abandoned cart ticket and someone buys something, then it'll look like you messaged them to say, hey, I see you've got this in your cart, here's 20% off, which as a buyer might be quite annoying. It's different if it comes from Etsy. You know it's not the seller's fault. But anyway, I tried to get this to happen. I went in, Brian, really sorry, stuck some of your items in a cart and liked a few of your items. I do like them. But I got an email, not a message. But I have heard from some people is not just does the message look like it comes from the seller, but if you're a seller as well, that message coming from the seller, even though they didn't send it, it does seem to count towards your star seller. So you might have to reply to this. So as a seller, if you get lots of abandoned cart messages going out, you might get lots of sellers messaging you back. It could be a little bit annoying. Anyway, that's just a thing. I haven't managed to see it myself, but apparently it exists. I've got a couple of scams for you this week. This is a new one. The email. So customers paid the item and waiting transaction confirmation. So they're not asking for your email. They're saying, we have reserved your item, new parcel, and then a number. Good day. And it's saying you've got to click on this link to confirm the transaction as a seller. Now, what I'm told is the click will lead you to a very good Etsy clone website. It doesn't take you to Etsy because this isn't from Etsy. So a bit dodgy. We're going to talk about how to avoid scams towards the end of this. But I want to just that there's always a couple of things in these mails, and one of them I want to show here. If you had an order from a customer, Etsy wouldn't say new parcel, it would say new order. So there's usually something a bit wrong in the language. There's reasons behind this, and sometimes it's because the scammers are wanting to weed out the people that are going to ask too many questions. So if you can look at that and go, yeah, absolutely, I know that's a scam, they don't want to deal with you. So they want the people who might miss this. But we've got another one. My mum got this one. Now, interestingly enough, she almost got hit with an accidental other bit of it because shops have been so quiet and the app's been intermittent into when it sends notifications and things. What she first told me was she got a kerching on her phone and then the scam kicked in, but there was no order. But she's since realised it was a notification of a message. But she hadn't heard this noise for quite a while. So a new seller, they might have heard you get a ka-ching, heard the new message noise and thought they got a ka-ching. So this made it feel a little bit more interesting. So she got through Etsy messages, but the other thing, obviously you get it sent as an email as well if you've set up your Etsy shop like that. But this one, rather than you have to click on this or whatever, this one said, "Hello, dear seller. Welcome to Etsy technical support. Your item has been paid, but unforeseen error has occurred. Please enter your email." But this is saying, "Welcome to Etsy technical support." And the person, it seems, their Etsy account name is Aerial Support Etsy. And the Etsy caught this and got rid of the the message, deleted it, redacted it. But you can see they used as their avatar the little Etsy logo. There's a couple of other things here. Firstly, "Hello, dear seller." Have you ever had a message from Etsy that says that? And have a look here at email. Nobody writes email like that. That is not a mistake Etsy would make. For all we have a go at them. So, final little thing I want to cover here is how to avoid Etsy scams. So, the first thing I showed in my mum's picture there, the message had come from someone whose avatar was an E in the circle. Etsy messages don't look like that. So here is one that I have had, and if it's just the E, all messages from Etsy staff in any way, like technical support, whatever else, they have the avatar and then out with the avatar. Now, their avatar is the same size as everyone else's before some scammers get smart to this. But so their avatar is the same size as everyone else's and stamped so it goes outside of that circle that non-Etsy staff can deal with. You've got the E that sticks out. So that is a legit thing. Only Etsy can put that on things. The other thing, when you get an email, you can always investigate what the actual email address it's come from is. Etsy has a whole range of emails, but it's going to be Etsy.com. So check it's coming from Etsy.com. Obviously, if they're sending you a message through Etsy messages, the email that you're going to get sent to say that you've got a message is going to have come from Etsy. That's legit. But anyone can send a message through Etsy messages, so go and check. So, if you fear a message is a scam, or if you get a message that's asking you to do anything, firstly, check it is from Etsy. As we've said, that little circle, it comes from an Etsy.com thing. And then, does it make sense? Does it use the same language you're used to from Etsy? "Hello, dear seller." Email spelt like a crazy person. Is it expected? have you actually made an order when they're messaging you about an order? Is this a usual way that Etsy contacts you? Are they asking for your email? Etsy knows your email. Etsy are not asking for your email. And with Etsy, with anything where there's a potential scam going on, if you get an email from PayPal, from Amazon, well, firstly, if you get any of this, if you get an email from something you don't have an account with, it is a scam. You can usually report with your emails, you can usually report it as a phishing scam. So that's definitely not for you. If you get an email and it says, click this link to do this thing, don't. Doesn't matter if it looks legit. Go to your account. So log into Etsy, log into PayPal, whatever else. And if whatever was so important, it's going to be on your dashboard. You're going to be able to see how to do the thing. So that's probably the best and safest way currently is if you've had an email about a thing, just log on to Etsy directly. And if they need you to do something, it'll be on your dashboard. It won't be in messages and stuff. Don't worry about that. I hope that helps. Anyway, that's it for the week. A bit of a scamtastic legal one. But thank you all so much. Have a fantastic week. Oh, yeah, don't forget, if you liked this, you want to subscribe, come back every Saturday for more Etsy news. But also, you're going to love Tuesday's video. Not only is it a series that you guys will enjoy, but I have a fantastic special guest dropping in. So, see you Tuesday and have a great week.